Okay, in the forest for a little forest relaxation to talk about the magic boundaries of lovers. This is Eve Christoph. This is Love Life with Eve, and we're getting into sacred tantric territory of the divine consort relationship that you are capable of. We all know we're capable of, and we fall off track, and we just need a little bit of, kind of rebalancing. So, one of the ways we fall off track most easily is when our lover's boundaries come up and we fall into one of two patterns. One is a kind of a freak out that we're about to be abandoned, and that they're not gonna love us anymore. If they see this thing about us that isn't perfect, they want this new thing. We'll get into a kind of a, like, I have one friend who she actually has a meltdown with the small boundaries that her partner needs when he'll be like, can you take care of yourself more, or can you just take a couple of days to yourself? These are like really good requests for a man or a woman to have towards their lover when they can see them burning out. And she will freak into abandonment mode, and then start texting a lot, and start panicking that he doesn't love her anymore, right? So that's a kind of a feminine, it tends to be more the feminine who does that one. The masculine freak out with boundaries usually has to do with a construct, right? A construct that the woman is not in boundary. She's not respecting his boundaries or him, and it'll be like when she gives a boundary, he'll be like in the mode of, well, when Emmett Till was brutally beat up, that man who did that, people talk about him as, oh, he was a good father, he was a good guy, it was just he lost it in that instance. And when they this is like the complexity of human nature, right? So when they interview the batterer of Emmett Till, it turns out he says things like, well, I was just triggered because he wasn't staying in his place like a N-word person should, right? He wasn't staying in his place. So the construct, the false construct that anybody should stay in their place. There he is. This is it. Oh, there you are. See, come here for a second. See the muzzle thing? Okay, we have to talk about the muzzle, right? So the staying in the place thing comes down to the way men often feel women have to behave, if they're respectful, is not to say their mind completely, not to disagree, not to expect something back, and there's a kind of an evil patriarchy that affects us all, that we all have to exit from, which has to do with racism and sexism sort of intertwined. So if the man's flashpoint and his trigger point, so the batterer of Emmett Till triggers into insane oblivion, and this happens a lot with men. When women's boundaries come up, that's when women will get battered, or that's when women will get emotionally battered, because the man will say, you're so conceited, you're so disrespectful, you're so, everything the woman says that's has a boundary in it, like, hey, this relationship has to go two ways. I mean, it needs to be both our pleasure, and it needs to be both our thoughts, and it needs to be back and forth between, if I'm going to curtail my career to protect your career and your reputation, are you going to do the same for me? And when the woman stands up into this equality place, it can blow a structure. Don't go running yet. Oh, all right, you're fine. Is it all tight in there? Okay, yeah, you're good. Okay, go ahead, go. Gotta talk about the muzzle next, okay? So so you have the woman freaking out, I'm going to be abandoned, and then she's pestering and she won't leave any space. And you have the man freaking out that the construct that he believes what respect looks like is false. He doesn't get it. That real relationship is real and it is exciting because two people contend with each other, okay? So this dog, him and I, Amzi and I, we have near perfect psychic communication. So I can say to him, do 3 rounds in the forest, come back. That one I had asked him to come back in 1 round so I could check his muzzle. You saw him come back. But it doesn't change the fact that his basic instinct is that when a bicycle comes, he thinks it's somebody going to attack me, and he lunges to protect me. And that's his nature. That's not going to ever change. And when he sees a squirrel, he's absolutely a fanatic. He's never caught one. Actually, even when they're in front of him, he doesn't like them as much as when they're running. He likes to run after squirrels. So to protect the wildlife and the people of this forest to feel safe, it has become apparent that by putting a muzzle on him through which he could smell, drink water, and pant, it's not a cruel muzzle, everybody, the balance comes into the story of him running free at times in the forest. Now, of course, there's people's property I can take him to where we're really deep in the forest and I can let him go. But the muzzle, the boundary, right, will allow you to run free. The boundary that your partner gives you that says, you know, this is what I need, or this is what I cannot do. I cannot stay up any later. You cannot talk to me in the middle of the night when I am in my REM time. Like, you need a muzzle. These are the sacred parameters within which you're allowed to run free in the magic forest of each other's love. And without that muzzle, he's scaring people, perhaps, and bikers. So if you figure out what those little boundaries are, it's not the end of the road. Like I had to keep him quarantined after he ran after the last biking people and really scared them. And, he bit somebody. And that's when, like, this is over. It's all over. Like, his freedom's over. And it seemed like that. And he was in quarantine for days, taking him on these miserable little walks. And then it was like the people in charge of the dog management were like, have you ever considered a muzzle? And it was like, of course not a muzzle, But here it is, the perfect idea for everybody to feel safe and be safe, actually. Okay, love, here's the magic berries. Check them out. Do you see the red berries? They're here. Much love to you, darling. Just consider all that when you're freaking out because of your beloved's boundaries, that you either have a false construct of what they should or not ask for, or not have parameters around, like, I can only make love this often, or I can't do my work, or I need communication every day, even if it's a little bit, just to tell me, hey, I won't be available for 10 hours or 2 days. I need communication, or I will fall apart because I'll think you're leaving me. It's fine to ask for what you need, and it's fine to understand that you're not going to be abandoned by respecting boundaries. It's the opposite. You'll make it possible for a long-lasting journey. Okay, thank you for being with me here at the Magic Forest. Look at where we are. Can you see this place? It's so beautiful. Much love, darling.